YouTube Live, and today I'm going to show you how I made a card with the Stampin' Up! Memorable Blooms stamp set bundle, and I also used the birthday celebration stamp set and some of the pretty wildflower wildflower birthday designer series paper. And I see that I'm all kinds of crazy crooked. I'm going to slide my camera over here just a little bit. One of these days I'll get it set right, but probably never. So, all right, so this is it for the card today. It's actually a pretty quick and easy one, so hopefully it won't take us too long to put it together. And I did do a little bit of the coloring ahead of time just because these two are both exactly the same. Figured that I would save us a little bit of time, and I colored one set ahead of time so you don't have to sit and watch me do the same thing twice. So, hey, Joan, thanks for hopping in. So like I said, this is it. Pretty quick and easy. A little embossed sentiment, some pretty flowers, a little bit of pretty designer paper, and the card is all done. So I see Pam and Carol and Danette and Roxanne are all here, and Carol as well. Thanks for joining. So Memorable Blooms is the name of, well, one of the stamp sets that I used on this. Hey, Christine and Judy, thanks for joining. It's actually kind of a nice day here in New Jersey. It's sunny. It's a little cool. Definitely still wintertime, but not freezing. Although we're supposed to get like 5 inches of snow on Thursday, so who knows? So crazy weather. Hey, Kathy. So Memorable Blooms is the name of the stamp set. It's got some beautiful floral images, some really nice sentiments. Again, just one of those general stamp sets that everybody needs to have around. And then it's got this cool set of dies that coordinate with it. The open dies in here, 1, 2, 3 of them, will cut out your 3 stamped images. And then there's this cool set of octagon dies. So this die actually is one of them that I used on my card front today. And it cuts out 2 things. So it cuts out, like I used the inner side, kind of the dashed piece of it. When you cut a piece of cardstock with it, you get an octagon on the inside, as well as you can use it as a frame because there's a decorative edge that it will put on the outside or the negative die cut as well. So it is an awesome die. And then there's this layering die, which is also really pretty and it's very detailed. I used it, I think, on another card. Trying to remember whether I did a video for it or not, but it's very pretty. Again, a very detailed little octagon die cut that you can layer together with the outside octagon. So, and then there's this little accessory die, which is, again, just pretty. You can never have too much greenery or too many flowers, in my opinion. All right, so that is the stamp and die set. I'm going to set those aside here. And then I also used for the sentiments on it, the birthday celebration stamp set, just because I wanted a big sentiment in the middle of it. And I wanted to make it a birthday card, and so I grabbed this stamp set because it's kind of a nice one. So again, these are both items that are in the current mini catalog that's been hanging around for about a month or so. It's been available. So yeah, Memorable Blooms actually is on back order right now, and it's showing as restocking somewhere around the 17th of February, so hopefully it won't be gone for too long. So just so you're aware of that here in the U.S. anyway. So I see Suzanne and Carol and Terry and Cindy and Karen and Sherry. Thanks everybody for hopping in. So, all right, so that is the other stamp set that I used on my card front. A couple of things, new things today. So Stampin' Up! Has got some new Sale-a-bration items. These are all $60 level items, which I was kind of shocked by because there are a couple of punches in here. There is a die, actually there are 2 die sets in here, some stamp sets, a kit, another kit, ribbon, little butterflies. So lots of awesome new things that are all available for free with an order of $60 or greater as a Sale-a-bration pick. So if you order $60 worth of stuff, you get to pick a free items from Stampin' Up! From the awesome Sale-a-bration list. There's the brochure that's got all the Sale-a-bration exclusive items, and then this new stuff is available as well. If you kind of got all the Sale-a-bration exclusives you wanted, there's lots of new things to pick from starting today. So, all right. Hey, Angelique and Marilyn, and if I didn't say hi to Carol, thanks for hopping in. I am doing a little ordering bonus right now, so I figured that since there's some new stuff from Stampin' Up! Coming out, I'd also go ahead and throw out a new ordering bonus. I've done this one for a couple of years in a row, and people do seem to really like it, so I'll keep doing it until y'all tell me you don't want me to do it anymore. But you get to pick a free adhesive with any order of $50 or greater. You're going to earn a running shoe reward point from me, which those are my customer reward points. Essentially, when you collect 8 of the points, you get a free $40 order of your choice from me. In addition to that, you're going to get a free adhesive of your choice with an order of $50 or greater through the 10th of February. And you also get my $10 thank you gift. So this is in addition to the normal $10 thank you gift that you are getting from me. So let me know if you have questions. Details are out on my blog today, which is stampwithamyk.com. I'll also make sure that they're in the post when I share this card so that you can go and take a look at the details for that. Then online exclusives, wanted to remind you about those. So these are some that are currently available to order from Stampin' Up. Lots of pretty things. Again, just a small sampling of the items available right now. And then there are some new online exclusives that demonstrators got to pre-order starting today. So this is, again, just a small sampling of some of the new items that will be available for customers to order starting on the 4th of March. But demonstrators get to pre-order from these items today. So yay for that. If you are not currently a demonstrator, right now is a great time to join because you can add pre-order items as part of your starter kit, so yay for that. And on top of that, Stampin' Up! Is doing an order kit, little order kit special where you get to pick either $30 additional free product in your starter kit, or you get to pick 2 packs of markers and a stamp set. So the stamp set is a specific one, but you can pick either any of the 4 color packs of markers. So there's subtles, brights, regals, neutrals. You can pick 2 of those, and you'll get that stamp set for free from Stampin' Up! When you purchase the starter kit. Starter kits are $99. They plus tax if that applies in your area. They ship for free, and then you get at least a 20% discount on all of your orders once you join as a demonstrator. And then if you join with us, you get to be part of our team, which is pretty awesome. So again, let me know if you have questions. There's never any, you're not required to do anything as a demonstrator. If you just want to order for yourself and get the discount for yourself, that's awesome. If you want to run a business, we'd be happy to help you do that too. So let me know if you have questions about that or the starter kit, the online exclusives. That's one way you can get to see and get your hands on them a little early is by purchasing that starter kit. All right, let's get going on the card. I have got a card base that is, I was going to say petal pink. This is not petal pink. This is Pretty in Pink cardstock, and it is cut to 4 1/4 by 11 and scored at 5 1/2. And you can do this with a standard book fold card base. I just didn't happen to have one handy, so you're getting a top fold card base because that's my favorite kind. So you can pick which one you'd like. All right. Then I've got a piece of the Wildflower Birthdays, or is it Wildflower Celebration? I'm having a moment here. What's the name of the paper? Wildflower Birthday Specialty Designer Series paper. All of a sudden I have this is it Wildflower Celebrations? I don't know where that came from. So Wildflower Birthday. This is cut to 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. The flip side of it, you can see that's why it's specialty papers, because it's got the gold foiling on it. And I actually am gluing the gold foiling side down because I absolutely love the stripes in this one. So hey, Bonnie, thanks for hopping in and for sharing. And Denise, thanks as well, too. And I see Amanda's here also, so thanks for joining. Going to use a little Stampin' Seal to adhere this panel to a piece of basic white cardstock that's cut to about 4 by 5 1/4. And if I can get my fingers to work, we'll stick these 2 together. And then we'll adhere them to the card front. So again, just lining it up, trying to get it on here fairly straight. So all right, gonna grab some Stampin' Dimensionals. Looks like we got a whole crew coming in from Australia. Thanks everybody for joining today. I appreciate you being here. So, all right, little half Stampin' Dimensionals. I do chop my dimensionals in half. If you like the whole ones, you certainly can use those. I just prefer the half ones because I like the size of them. They stick just as well, and but they just fit better, I feel, in many places. So I do my half dimensionals. If you like whole ones, use whole ones. So that's the bonus of being a card maker. You get to decide what you want to do. So, hey, Debbie, thanks for joining. All right, we're going to adhere this to the card front. And again, just roughly centering it on the card base. And then I did die cut ahead of time one of the octagons from a piece of basic white cardstock. And this is the die that I used. It is from the Memorable Blooms dies, which is part of the stamp set bundle that I'm using today. And again, just run it through. And actually, I didn't even realize it, but I have the negative of this. So what it does, and obviously it's cut kind of crazily crooked because I was on the edge of the paper. You don't have to cut it crazy crooked like I did, but it leaves that nice little finished edge so you can create a little frame with this and then have a peek through if you wanted to do that for your card front or whatever you want to do with it. But I am using the inside piece of the octagon die cut, and we are just going to stamp the sentiments in Versamark ink. Put this away before I lose track of everything. Versamark ink on the panel here. So I got my little embossing buddy. I'm just going to rub it over the cardstock in the hopes that that will take care of any of the static electricity and kind of stray pieces, because it's really dry in my house right now. Being winter, at least here in New Jersey, it's very dry. So, all right, inking this up with Versamark ink, and it's the big birthday sentiment from the Birthday Celebration stamp set. And we're just going to stamp that here on, about right there, looks good, on the basic white panel. And I know that you can't see it, but I can. So then I'm going to take the little happy and we're going to ink that up, and we are going to stamp it right above the birthday on that same panel. So there we go. And then we're going to grab, it is pretty designer series paper, so I love it too. It's probably my favorite pack. The colors in it are so good, I think. So that's why I love it. And the designs are good too. So, all right, got black embossing powder from the Basics Wow embossing powders. And we are just gonna tap that. Good thing I'm covering that because I just smudged it, but all good. So, all right, got black embossing powder from the Basics Wow embossing powders. Dump that all over the sentiment, kind of tapped off any of the extra. Now I'm gonna start up my heat tool, which is the Stampin' Up! Heat tool. And there are two settings to it. There's a level 1 setting for drying. So if you're doing something like watercoloring and want to speed up the drying process a little bit, you can use your heat tool on that. It's a great little option to have. And then there's the level 2 setting, which is for heat embossing. It definitely gets a little bit hotter. But yeah, it's designed for heat embossing. It does take just a second to heat up. So that's why I usually yak for a minute before I turn it towards my project. I'm just going to spin it around here. And what you're looking for is you want to watch for the embossing powder to kind of turn that shiny, pretty, I don't know, finished look. And then just keep your heat tool moving. You don't want to let it sit for too long in any one spot, just because it can burn your embossing powder and then it turns kind of dull and not very pretty. But all right, there we go. So we've got our sentiment all heat embossed, and just gonna wave it here for a second and let it cool off so I don't accidentally smear it, because you can do that accidentally, or like I said, just if you run your fingers over it too quickly and it's a little too warm, you can smudge it and then you got to start all over, and nobody wants to do that. So, all right, got some Stampin' dimensionals, again my little half dimensionals that I'm going to be sticking on the back of my sentiment, and just put a couple here, maybe one more in the center. And all right, picking off the backings, and we'll flip it over here and just stick it to the center of the card. And again, just kind of roughly centered top to bottom and side to side. There we go. Now again, I did do one of these ahead of time. So I've got one of these that's been colored and die cut, and then we're going to do another one here. It's the exact same process that I'm doing, so I figured you didn't necessarily need to watch me do this twice because it's kind of boring. So, all right, I have got my leaf image and the floral image from the Memorable Bloom stamp set, and I've got Tuxedo Black Memento ink that one of my team members actually made this for me. He used the Tuxedo Black Memento ink refill, obviously, and used one of the craft white ink pads, and it works so awesome. I love the stamping with it. My old Tuxedo Black Memento ink pad was the old felt style one, the kind that you get when you typically purchase it, and I kind of have to beat it and smash it and smoosh it around and whatever to get it so that it actually will stamp nicely, where this one, I actually kind of have to be pretty gentle with it. If I smush the stamp down in it too much, it actually gets like way overly inky and I end up with a mess everywhere. So, so yeah, if you are struggling with the Tuxedo Black Memento ink pad, definitely give that a try. Just buy the craft white ink pad and refill. You're going to set aside your craft white ink refill and grab your Tuxedo Black Memento ink refill, and then ink up your ink pad, and it works awesome. I'm loving it. So at least so far, I haven't had any issues with it. So, all right, enough yakking. Let's get to a little bit of coloring. I've got Pretty in Pink Stampin' Blends marker that I'm going to be using here to color the flowers. I'm starting with light, and I'm just going to color in the flower petals first. Karen's, I saw you say that you ordered one of the uninked pads to do that. It's, like I said, I'm loving it. So it's been working awesome for me. So I can definitely, I like it. And Daryl actually told me that he saw another demonstrator, I feel like it was Ange McKay, who was showing how she had done that with one of her ink pads. So that's where he swiped the idea from and then sent it to me. And so I've been raving about it ever since. So it's pretty awesome. All right, then we've got dark petal pink that I'm going to use for adding a little bit of contrast, I guess is what I'll say. Now where I'm putting it here on the flower is this area where it's kind of, the petals kind of curled over, as well as down here in the center. So that's kind of the only area that I'm going to be adding much of the color around the center and kind of the curled in pieces. All right, adding a little bit more color down in there for my other flower. And then I'm going to come back with the light petal pink and just do a little bit of blending to kind of take away any harsh edges, to fill in any spots, like right there where I'd missed a spot when I colored initially. And that's kind of all that we're going to be doing. I don't tend to spend a ton of time coloring and worrying about blending everything perfectly. There are a lot of people that color a lot nicer than I do and probably can give you all sorts of tips and hints. I just kind of color until it looks pretty to me and then I stop. So that's the only thing I could say. If you're newer to Stampin' Blends, oh, you just bought it too? Good, Suzanne, you're going to love it. I love it so far. So I've got light lemon lolly. We're going to add a little bit of color here to the centers of the flowers. One thing I always recommend is if you're newer to using Stampin' Blends markers, I'm also going to add a little bit of dark in as well. Just start with a floral image. They're definitely much more forgiving. So that's always my recommendation, to start with a floral image and until you get used to coloring with them and figuring out how they work. Once you get used to it, then you can do a little bit more advanced images. So I've got soft sea foam light Stampin' Blends marker that I'm coloring the leaves with. And I'll go ahead and color in the leaves on the other flower as well. Or other image. This isn't flower, this is just leaves. There we go. And just doing a little bit. Again, I've got, this is light soft sea foam that I'm using to color. And then the final one. All right, so I'm going to come back in with the dark soft sea foam. I usually tend to use the bullet ends of the markers. Some people like coloring with the brush ends a little bit better. It just sort of depends on what you're used to and what you like. So you can play around with them. And once you get a set or two, and then figure out which end works better for you. And I'm just adding a little bit of dark kind of down the center and down the, around the edges, or around the bottom, I should say, of the leaves. I'm going to come back in with the light and just do a little bit of blending here. All right. And again, I don't tend to overthink it or do just, you know, a whole lot of worrying about exactly, you know, how is it blended perfectly? I don't worry about it. I just color till it looks pretty to me and then I stop. So I'm going to come back in with the light lemon lolly and just going to add the little dashes on this little stem piece. They're probably leaves of some sort, the little leaves, but I just colored them with lemon lolly, since you could really hardly see there's color on them anyway because they're so little. And I definitely did not do any blending on those, just basically added the color. And that's it. And again, I just did it 2 times, so I've got 2 sets of the leaves and flowers, and then I'm going to do my die cutting here. My die cutting machine is off to my left, so I'll be off screen for a second as I die cut these, but just wanted to show you which dies coordinate. So they've got these 2 dies that I'll be die cutting with, so let me go run this through the die cutting machine and I'll be right back. All right. Okay, I think I've got it. Put these back on my magnetic sheet before I lose track of those. And we'll get rid of that. So we've got our 2 sets of flowers and leaves. And we're just going to use some glue dots and Stampin' dimensionals to adhere these to the card front. I'm going to start with glue dots, and I'm just going to put them along the one edge of the colored images. So I've got this one. We're just going to tuck this one right in around the birthday sentiment down here, making sure that we're keeping it on the card front. And then I'm going to take one of the flower sets and adhere that to the leaves. So, oh, thanks, Roxanne. So, all right. Just going to take that and we'll tuck the leaves in. And again, you know, you can kind of turn it and twist it however you want it to be. Make it land where you want it to go. And then we'll do the same thing with the other little set of leaves and flowers. Take this one and tuck it up here around the top. And a couple glue dots on the back of this one. And then we'll turn it again so that it's kind of around or tucked in around the sentiment. Now these are kind of floating here free. When I have that happen, I usually try to secure it a little bit to the card front. It would be fine probably to leave it as it is, but I like to have a little bit of extra kind of holding power underneath it. So I just take my paper snips in a dimensional, peel off the backing, and I stick it to my snips. You can also do this with tweezers if you have those. The take your pick tool would probably also work. Just tuck it under where you want it to go and then smash down on it, and it will take the adhesive or take the dimensional right off of your snips and stick it to the card front instead. So it's pretty quick and easy to do, but just kind of helps if you have those little spots where it's a little saggy and you want to put a little something underneath it but don't know exactly where the dimensional is going to need to be. Like this one with the flowers, each one's going to be a little different on exactly where the dimensionals end up. There we go. Then we'll tuck this one, whoop, maybe right underneath there, and then pull the snips out, and there I've got my extra dimensionals stuck in there, all good to go. So, all right, final piece on the card front is I did take 3 of these are the resin dots. They're the 2024 to 2026 in color resin dots, and just took a couple of them and stuck them here around the card front. We'll put that one. Yeah, maybe we'll move it a little different place. I'll see where I may move it around again. One other thing while I'm arranging dots here on the card front is don't forget the last chance products actually updated today, the list did, and quite a few new products were added. Most of them are online exclusives. There were a couple of kits, so go take a look at those. A bunch of things were put on sale as well, so if you haven't had an opportunity to look at those in a little while, go out and take a peek. Make sure you're not missing out on any of those. And again, pick up some of those good deals. Some of the stuff is up to 60% off. So lots of deals out there. Not all of it's on sale, but quite a bit of it is. All right. Inside of the card, I kept pretty easy as well. Just got basic white cardstock cut to 4 by 5 1/4, and we've got pretty in pink ink. And then the sentiment is from the birthday celebration stamp set. It just says "Make a Wish," which is a nice little sentiment for the birthday, I think. There we go. Yeah, that's not a very good. Let's flip it over and try it again. See if I can get a better ink on that. All right, that looks better. All right, close that up. And then, hey, Patricia, thanks so much for being here today. So gonna grab, I'm glad you're liking the colors. Like I said, this to me, just these colors scream spring. I love them. I don't know why I like the light pink and the light green together. That's one of my favorite color combinations. Maybe because I'm a kid, you know, I was in high school in the late 80s and early 90s when those colors were popular. So, all right, gonna adhere that. This is a piece of designer series paper. Again, the birthday or wildflower birthday designer series paper. Just a little bit extra that I had left over from when I made the card front. Just gonna trim that off. And then we're going to adhere this together with a little Stampin' seal to the inside of the card base, and we're going to be all done for today. So, all right. Don't forget to take a peek at those online exclusives. If you're a demonstrator, go check out the new ones that are available today. If you're considering becoming a demonstrator, go out and take a look, and you can see the new online exclusives when you go through the sign-up process to join as a demonstrator. So you can take a peek at what's new out there if you're interested in joining. So, all right, there we go. Oh, two cards, put the little dots in slightly different places, but basically the same card front. You can use what, set it up however you want it to be. So, all right, that is it for today. I appreciate you being here, and it was kind of a speedy little card today. I sort of figured it would be, but yeah, I like the way it turned out, and I loved the colors on it, so I just went ahead and did it. So, all right, thanks everybody for joining. I appreciate you guys being here. Have a wonderful rest of your Tuesday. I'll plan to be live around 4 o'clock, or 4 o'clock. Where did that come from? 2 o'clock Eastern time on Friday. And then again around 2 o'clock Eastern time next week, Tuesday. So if you have questions, let me know. All the details for this card will be posted on my blog tomorrow, which is stampwithamyk.com. I'll link directly to the blog post in the description of this video once it goes live around 8 o'clock in the morning Eastern time. So you'll be able to find all the details, find the printable PDF tutorial, find out the details of my little ordering special, all that good stuff. Be out of my blog. Actually, that stuff's already out of my blog today. So let me know if you have questions about anything. Again, I appreciate you being here. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll chat with you all soon.